am the Word Wizard. Welcome to my cave.
Ah, Cave of the Word Wizard, a title that conjures images of grand magical battles, mysterious labyrinths and arcade knowledge passed down through the ages. Or perhaps it sounds like the worst Dungeons & Dragons campaign ever conceived. Either way, one would assume some level of intrigue. What we actually get is an educational game from 1983 for the Commodore 64, developed by Timeworks Inc. So let's dive in and see what literary magic awaits. The adventure begins with a title screen and a depiction of the titular cave. Unlike your standard dark and foreboding cavern, this one comes with a bright yellow front door. Very welcoming. It seems a couple of curious children thought so too, as you've wandered in and inadvertently attracted the attention of the Word Wizard. Now you must prove their spelling prowess to escape. Before the action begins, if we can call it that, you must first select a difficulty level, choose from 10-word lists and pick a protagonist, either Becky or Mark. These two young spelunkers appear identical apart from their sprite, proving that vocabulary challenges are refreshingly free from gender biases. For efficiency's sake, I hastily tapped my way into the game, beginning as Mark on the easiest setting. After all, why break tradition when my gaming lifespan has always been built on baby steps? And for some reason, I'm not feeling particularly confident with spelling as it is. So here we are, Mark, alone in a cave, armed with nothing but a flashlight. And what a flashlight! Judging by the cave's illumination, he's either carrying the world's most powerful torch, or the game's designer just really hated growing in the dark. You can move left and right as well as jump. Essential skills for avoiding the cave's many hazards, such as a small puddle. If you lightly brush against a bit of dampness, then this is enough to send your hero sprawling, losing a precious band-aid in the process. Run out of band-aids and it's game over. Just when your spelunking starts to feel a little too aimless, the very fabric of reality distorts, colours swirl, and out steps the Word Wizard. The Word Wizard. He's big, he's green, and he looks like someone cross LGBTQ Gandalf with a medieval jester. I will say this though, for a 1983 game it's a decent looking sprite. He's also rocking that classic wizard aesthetic, pointy hat, beard, an outfit straight out of Ye Olde Magic Shop. You can practically hear the kettle whistling in the background as he debates whether to have 2 or 3 biscuits with his tea. Without so much as a polite introduction, he bellows at you to spell a word. No hello, no welcome to my cave, just an abrupt demand for spelling servitude. At least he has actual speech, thanks to some surprisingly solid synthesization for the time. But still, rude. If this is the wizard's idea of an engaging lesson plan, I have some serious concerns about his Ofsted rating.
Spell green. Fantastic.
This, as it turns out, is the game's educational component. The Word Wizard commands you to spell a word, and you type it in. Spell it correctly, and he rewards you with a mildly condescending "keep up the good work" and a bit of flashlight power.
Spell aluminum.
Misspell it and the flashlight dims, and he taunts you with "it's getting darker."
It's getting darker.
Fail too many times and you're left in pitch black despair, presumably to be eaten by a grue. Oh no, that's another game for another video on the channel. But here's the thing, this game doesn't teach spelling so much as test it. You either already know how to spell the words, or you don't. If you make a mistake, there's no real correction beyond being shown the right answer.
Spell fact.
A little more guidance would have gone a long way towards making this actually useful for learning. Instead, it just feels like being quizzed by a wizard who sounds like the crappy English teacher I had back at school. With the basics mastered, I crank up the difficulty, because I refused to spend my evening proving I could spell cat. Now the Word Wizard was hitting me with more difficult words. Meanwhile, the cave itself grew more treacherous. More puddles, more rocks, and a scuttling infestation of spiders and scorpions. But even with these added dangers, the gameplay didn't exactly become thrilling. The hazards are predictable, and jumping over them is a breeze. In fact, Mark's jump is so floaty that you can often just hop in place and let the enemy scurry harmlessly beneath you. The most challenging part is navigating the cave's labyrinth layout without losing your sanity. As it turns out, there is an actual objective beyond appeasing the wizard's insatiable thirst for spelling. The goal is to collect 4 crystals scattered throughout the cave. Finding them, however, is another story. The game offers a sort of map as a series of blue bars at the top of the screen. If an expertly detailed Ordnance Survey map is a 10 out of 10, and a crumpled napkin with "You're lost" scrolled on it is a 0 out of 10, this thing ranks as a 2. It provides a vague idea of vertical positioning, but is otherwise about as useful as a chocolate teapot. After an eternity of scouring indistinguishable caverns, you can finally gather the required crystals. You've found all the crystals. Now find your way out, croaks the wizard. Thanks, mate. A little directional guidance would be appreciated. But no, we're left to stumble back to the entrance, battling the wizard's relentless pop quizzes all the way. And just when I think I'm free, bam! One final spelling challenge at the exit. At this point, I'm convinced he's just stalling because he doesn't want to be left alone in his cave.
Spell. Skeleton.
So, what to make of Cave of the Word Wizard? Well, the platforming is so rudimentary it barely qualifies as gameplay, and the educational aspect is more of a spelling checkpoint than an actual learning tool. The cave exploration is slow, tedious, and would benefit enormously from a proper map showing where you've already been. That said, there's a certain charm to the game. The synthesized speech is genuinely impressive for 1983, and the word wizard himself is oddly endearing in his relentless dedication to unsolicited literacy tests. I imagine some people have fond childhood memories of this game, and I can see why. It's got that quirky, offbeat quality that sticks in the brain.
Spell. Satisfactory.
But unless you have a deep nostalgia for Commodore 64 speech synthesis, or a desperate urge to prove your spelling skills against a green wizard, this one is unlikely to hold your attention for more than 10 minutes. The biggest letdown is that if you try to type insults like "sod off you big beardy bastard" instead of actual words, the game doesn't react at all. This game's refusal to let you insult a wizard is more disappointing than the gameplay, frankly. And he's still never subscribed to the channel. No matter, I think that's what you guys should do if you enjoyed this video. I'll even top up your flashlight. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. And, unlike the wizard, be sure to subscribe and follow me on this epic adventure down memory lane. Check out the other videos on the channel playlists, as I'm sure there will be more nostalgic gems that help remind you of the good times gaming on your Commodore 64. Hopefully, I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, bye for now.
Spell. Bye for now.